Welcome here on Flow Sports to Towson University here in Towson, Maryland. We got a matchup for you today involving the Towson Tigers, who currently sit second in the CAA, 5-0, undefeated, but their opponent also undefeated in the CAA, number 9 Stony Brook Seawolves. They come in currently sitting 10-3 overall, 5-0 in the CAA. Tigers coming in 10-4 overall, 5-0 in the CAA. Tigers coming off of a tough loss on Tuesday, losing in overtime to number 22 Johns Hopkins, 13-12. Look at Stony Brook. Key areas to watch today. Stony Brook does a great job spreading the ball. They have speed. They're fast. They're athletic. That's going to be something Towson has to contain today. Towson cannot try to match the tempo that Stony Brook's going to try to set early in this game. They got to slow the game down, get some big, long offensive possessions, and be effective in them. Key players to watch for starting with the opponent, Stony Brook. Midfielder number 12, Ellie Macera. Number 14, Caitlin Clark. And then their goalkeeper, Haley Duknowski. As for the Tigers, key players to look out for today, Milana Zizikovic, Blair Paris, and Joe Torres. As we look at these starting lineups for today's game, starting with Stony Brook, they're running a 4-4-3 today. Creo, Whitehouse, Hampel, Macera, Hart, Mitchell, McQuarrie, Dillon, Rongo, Duknowski, Levy, and Verhulst are your starting 12 for the Seawolves of Stony Brook. As for the Towson Tigers, Abbott, Sullivan, and Trary, Zizikovic, Clark, Pierre, Goodrich, Garrett, Marshall, Malamphy, Levy, and in goal, Torres. Expect to see a shootout. Both of these teams top of the leaderboard in the CAA in offensive stats, especially with shots and goals. Tigers rank first in shots per game. Seawolves rank first in goals per game. Leading the charge for the Seawolves today is going to be Ellie Macera. Currently ranks first in assists per game, goals per game, points per game, shots per game, and draw control. She's going to go up against Lindsay Marshall today in the draws. Marshall ranks fourth currently in draw controls, as she has her tough one set out. Looks like we're actually going to have Verhulst going up against Marshall to start the game off for the opening draw, as we are set to go underway between the Towson Tigers and the number 9 Seawolves of Stony Brook. Verhulst, Marshall getting their instructions. Beautiful day here in Towson, Maryland. Not too hot, not too cold, a little bit of wind. Sun will come out eventually. As we are set to go, ball goes up. Ground ball set, controlled by the Tigers, and then taken back and re-controlled by Lindsay Marshall as they try to clear. Heading up right now, Zizikovic, as she's going to settle it down and set the offense up inside the 30. Over to Levy. Back to Zizikovic. Goal line extended. Tigers had a chance there with Pierre cutting on the inside. Stays outside with Garrett. Goes back up top. Levy over to Zizikovic. Back to goal line extended with Lindsay Clark. Zizikovic trying to find the middle. Tried to find Lindsay Marshall. Just gets right past her stick. Blair Paris with the ball now. As she goes one-on-one. She's driving. She pulls back out. Goal line extended. Clark out to Levy. Back to Clark. Up top. 28 on the shot clock. Zizikovic behind the net. Inside. Marshall up with it. She's going to turn. She shoots. Tigers going to regain control. It's going to be a new shot clock, a new 60 for the Tigers. Garrett dumped it off to Zizakovic. Back to Clark. Inside. Tigers have a chance. Shooting and score. Tigers find the board first here with 13:24 remaining. Great passing there from the Tigers behind the net inside to Marshall, and Marshall finds Chorus on the board first for the Tigers. Tigers exactly what they needed to do. Stony Brook's going to go on a run at some point this game. Tigers able to get out in front early to start the game. 13:24 remaining. Tigers find themselves up 1-0 here to start. Haley Chorus, the sophomore, gets on the board first. As we get back ready for a draw, Tigers up 1. Marshall versus Verhulst. Tigers able to secure the first draw control of the afternoon to start the game. It's going to be a violation, Tiger ball. We talked about pregame, Tigers not matching the speed and tempo of Stony Brook, but instead slowing the game down and making their own presence in this game. Had 2 very long possessions to start off the game, able to put one in with Chorus to start. Tigers going to set up here inside the 30. Zizakovic. Goal line extended to Clark. Back up top. Here inside, Marshall, and the Tigers add on to their lead 2-0 here over Stony Brook. Sonia LaMonica's squad getting things started early here in the first quarter against Stony Brook. Gabby Garrett assisted on the goal from Lindsay Marshall. Marshall's not someone we highlighted early in the game, but she is extremely productive. She's one of the best efficient scorers for the Tigers. She was able to find a middle of the crease, able to get something going. Clark and Pierre are able to stretch that field, allow Marshall to get inside. Tigers go up 2-0 here as we're ready for the third draw of the afternoon. That's going to be a foul on Towson as the Seawolves get their first chance in the offensive half as they clear it through. As it looks like Lindsay Marshall's going to go sit. Yellow card on Lindsay Marshall. Seawolves set just inside the 30. Verhulst. Seawolves like to go quick. They're not going to use the entire 90. They're going to go quick. They spread the ball. They're up tempo. Verhulst inside. Great defense there from Blair Paris. Knocked that one down. That shot just wide. Tigers ball. As the Tigers turn it over. Transfer goalkeeper Joe Torres coming in from Navy. Spent 2 seasons at Navy before transferring over to Towson as she commands her defense here early. Ahead 2-0. Bad turnover for the Tigers in their own half. Stony Brook quick with the ball in the offense. Go inside, behind the back, score. Stony Brook narrows it down now to 2-1. Great passing display there from Stony Brook. That goal scored none other by Ellie Massara, as she adds another goal to her column. I believe that's 51 for her on the season. The defense is going to have their hands full with Massara. .13 remaining. Tigers 2, Seawolves 1. That was Stony Brook's 17th Women Up goal of the season. Massara is going to win that draw control. They're going to go quick here. She's going north and south, fires right on net. Save by Jo Torres. Gets her first save of the afternoon. Expect a lot of that from the Seawolves right off the draw. And that's going to be another turnover. Was about to be another turnover by the Tigers. Controlled by Lindsay Marshall here. She goes down. Goodrich. And Pierre forward. Back to Pierre. Goal line extended to Clark. Back up top. Levy. Pierre. Back to Levy. Zizakovic. Goal line extended. Dropping that ball was Clark, and then a bad pass corralled off the ground from Zizakovic. The defense from Stony Brook slides extremely well on the inside as they find Marshall. She fires, she shoots, and she scores. Second goal in the day for Lindsay Marshall, and that lead extends back out to 2 for the Tigers. As we were just praising the sliding interior defense for Stony Brook, Lindsay Marshall finds her way inside right in front of the crease. Backs down 2 defenders, slips to the side and fires it right past Duknowski. 10:08 remaining here in the first at Towson. Tigers leading Stony Brook 3-1. Charlotte Verholst going against Lindsay Marshall here again. Stony Brook having recent success on the draw controls, as they're going to win another one. Miss Sarah up with it now, as she gives it off to Mitchell. Back to Mitchell. Offense going to run through Miss Sarah today. Miss Sarah and Hart are going to be the 2 main contributors for the Seawolves. Verholst up top. Sarah. Mitchell. Back to goal line extended for the Seawolves. Behind the net. Torres giving her instructions. Verholst. Tigers doing a great job sliding off of their matchups. And as soon as I say that, Massara wide open right in front of Torres. Buries that one. 3-2. 9:21 remaining. See if we have a shootout here today. Marshall for the Tigers, 2 goals. Massara for the Seawolves, 2 goals. We look at the Eastport, New York native Ellie Massara, currently ranked 6th in the nation in goals per game with 3.85. 11th in the nation in goals. That might have changed. She now has 52 on the season. Came into today's game with 50 on the year. She sits 4th in shots on goal per game. She's a 3-time CAA Player of the Week and IL Women Mid-Season All-American First Team selection, as she's left her mark for Stony Brook in their first season in the CAA, as they're ready to go again. Goal line extended. Hampel to Verhulst. Macera. Back out. They have her inside. Good defense there for the Tigers. Got to keep an eye on Macera. She likes to slip inside. Finds any little bit of room, she'll bury it. Abbott doing a great job, goal line extended. Forces that ball back out. Mitchell and Verhulst commanding up top. They slip. Mitchell inside. She shoots and she scores. 8:30 remaining here in Towson. Game all nighted up at 3. Morgan Mitchell getting her first goal of the afternoon. Tigers 3 goals off of 4 shots on goal. Stony Brook 3 goals off of 5 shots. Tigers had their success winning those draws early to start the game, have fallen behind as of recent, losing those draw controls to Verhulst. Coming into today, Stony Brook 197 draw controls compared to their opponents 142. Macera goes down. Tigers have the draw control and they do clear with Olivia Malamphy. She hands it off to Zizakovic. Down to Clark. Back up top. Thompson up high as she crashes. Zizakovic, goal line extended, and that's going to be a turnover for the Tigers. She was trying to get it down low to Lindsay Clark, a little bit too low, and it goes out of bounds. Seawolves now try to clear. Clearing 87% of the time for Stony Brook. As we made note, they have a lot of speed and athleticism. Macera looks ready to go. Puts it forward. Clear attempt good for Stony Brook. 7:30 remaining, game tied at 3. Stony Brook looking to make way and have their first lead here of the afternoon. Inside. Off the leg of Torres. Looked like they were going to give and go for Macera. Try to put it down low. Clark gives it up to Pierre. Pierre going north and south. She has a wide open lane. And that's going to be a push off from Pierre. Was saved by Duknowski anyway. Had an opportunity there, not able to get past the defense of Stony Brook. Easy save from Duknowski. As now Stony Brook clears. Tigers are going to need a big game from Joe Torres. I believe Torres had 13 against Johns Hopkins. Can't corral that one as Stony Brook is going to go to head 4-3 here. 6:20 remaining in the first. They get their first lead against the Tigers. Morgan Mitchell gets her second of the afternoon as well. Stony Brook's offense running right through Mitchell and Macera to start. As I was saying, Torres is going to have a big game here for her defense, and her squad had 13 saves in that loss in overtime against Johns Hopkins on Tuesday at Homewood in Baltimore, Maryland. Tigers going to have to limit that turnover margin. Had 20 in the game against Johns Hopkins. Has 3 so far here in the first against Stony Brook. Marshall, Verholz. I actually believe that was Pierre that took the draw. Stony Brook looking to go fast. They go inside again. They go back door to Mitchell. Lead for the Seawolves extended to 2. Morgan Mitchell, a 5'5" senior out of Port Jefferson Station, New York. Appeared in 18 games in 2022, making 14 starts. Totaled 23 points, 14 goals, 9 assists. And 1 game-winning goal is now up to 3. She has a hat trick here today in the first with 6:05 remaining. This season, she has a season high in goals with 7. In her last game against William and Mary, had 3 goals and 4 points. "29 goals on the season for Morgan Mitchell coming into today. So now she's up to 32. Draw control by Towson. Shannon Sullivan gives it back up top. Tigers cannot stray away from what had success early in this game. Slow the tempo down. You have 90 seconds on the shot clock. Down to 70 now. Just set something up. Try to get Lindsay Marshall in the middle. Maybe find Chorus in the middle as well. You're only down 2. Long game. They have Clark and Zizakovic. Zizakovic calling for it. Clark goal line extended. Back to Zizakovic. Inside to Marshall as she brings it right back out. They go behind. Back inside. Marshall. Goal line extended inside to Chorus. Just past Chorus. Zizakovic going to be up with that one as she goes back down low. Great sequence there for the Tigers. Just outreached arms of Chorus, and they go for her again. And that's going to be a turnover from the Tigers. Nothing to be mad about there. They had an inside shot just outside the outreached arms of Haley Chorus. Mitchell. Down low to Creo. .420 remaining in the first. Stony Brook 5, Towson 3. Intrury, good collapse. Macera inside. Great defense there for the Tigers, but Stony Brook finds a way through from Torres. Lead now 6-3. Looks like that goal was going to be on Fusco. Wait confirmation on that one. Isabel Germani. Stony Brook inside the 30. They cycle it back up top. Mitchell back out. Macera, goal line extended. Inside. Bounce shot gets past Torres. 7-3 Seawolves. We talked about earlier, you're not going to be able to stop a run from happening from Stony Brook. It's going to happen at some point. It's just you got to limit it. Expecting a timeout here from Sonia LaMonica, and that's, I believe, what is happening. That last goal before was from Germani, assisted by Fusco. Sonia LaMonica going to call a timeout for the Towson Tigers. Got to figure out what's going wrong here. They have a great job collapsing on that exterior offensive possession from Stony Brook. They just struggle sliding on the interior, and that's what's given Stony Brook good looks on Joe Torres. That last goal was by Mitchell, assisted by Caitlin Hart. Goal number 33 on the season for Mitchell. As we look at the stats so far here with 4:04 remaining in the first, nine shots compared to Towson's 4. 8 of those 9 have been on goal for Stony Brook. Very efficient in the offensive half, which we knew was going to happen. Stony Brook having a rough schedule. They really have had a tough schedule this season. I mean, they've really had to play number 1 Syracuse, number 3 Northwestern. They do have some key wins this year. Number 18 Michigan, number 21 Yale, and number 17 Stanford. Their only really tough loss was against Rutgers, who was unranked at the time. Lost 7-12 in that game. Tigers had some close losses this year against ranked opponents, losing in overtime this past week, 13-12 against Johns Hopkins, and then number 25 Penn State, they lost 13-12. Tigers have been able to compete this year against ranked opponents. I expect them to get back in this game. Only down 4 against Stony Brook. Called a timeout, see if that halts that play from the Seawolves. Tigers have 7 fouls in the first. Biggest stat so far in the first with 3:30 remaining of the turnovers. Tigers have 4 turnovers. Stony Brook has 0. As the wind picks up here at Tiger Field on Towson University campus. Another draw controlled by Towson. Foul on Stony Brook. Referee is going to converse on this call. Don't know exactly what they're conversing on. There was a foul initially on Stony Brook that led to a control for Towson. It's going to remain that way. Just a spot foul, no card, no nothing. Zizakovic with the ball right now, waiting for instructions and when she's ready to go. And that's now. Sends it back as they're going to try to clear. Sullivan. There we go. No offsides call. Blair Paris loses it for a quick second. Osha Levy up top, back to Pierre. Goal line extended. They have course right in the middle, wide open. Double team not able to see it. Zizakovic. Clark, back to Zizakovic. Clark, goal line extended. Inside the course, not able to hold on to it. Well, it looks like we're going to have a free position here for the Tigers. First free position for either team here today. Tigers on the year, 43% from free position. Marshall goes forward. Ball gets knocked out. Dugnowski is going to easily be able to pick that one up. Seemed like she hesitated on whether or not she wanted to shoot it at first. Great collapse there from Stony Brook. Morgan Mitchell clears. They got Mitchell goal line. Goal line extended Mitchell. They're going to feed it right back through. Messera, Verhulst. As they go far side. They've done this play a lot where they go back door. They find inside just wide of Torres. Torres calling her shot. She's got nowhere to go right now. They got to get something going here. Torres just holding on to it. Valerie Thompson tried to get over top of it. That's going to be a turnover for the Tigers. Under a minute remaining here in the first. Shot clock is off. Don't know who that shot attempt was on. Back up top. I believe it was Mitchell that tried that behind the back shot about 15 seconds ago. 25, inside, shot, scores. Morgan Mitchell on the goal. Tigers have to find a way to stop this scoring run of Stony Brook. Assisted by Jolie Creo, her 18th assist of the year. Morgan Mitchell's 34th goal of the season. Blair Goodrich taking the draw here for the Tigers. Hampel fighting for it. It's going to be a foul on Stony Brook. Tiger possession. Going down hard with Shannon Sullivan. Looks to be okay. She's up. Just going to put her equipment back on and we'll be ready to go. Tigers, 13.5 seconds remaining. Let's see if they try to do something here. Down 8-3. Looks like they're just going to hold on to it. Under 5. Just not enough time. Had some room there. But the first quarter comes to a close. Tigers got out in front early. Seawolves came back, now lead 8-3 as we'll be right back after we take a quick break here on Flow Sports. Back here at Towson University here for today's matchup, including a top 10 team at number 9, Stony Brook. Tigers got out to an early lead in the first quarter, led 3-1 at one point, and then A 7-goal scoring run for Stony Brook has them out 8-3 against the Tigers. Mitchell for Stony Brook, 5 goals. Macera, 2 goals. Germani, a single goal. Creo, 6 assists in the first quarter. Although the Tigers trail 8-3, they do lead in the draw control 6-5. It's just Stony Brook, 0 turnovers so far this afternoon. Tigers already have 5. Tigers got to limit that going into the second quarter. During the break, Sonia LaMonica talking to her squad. Defense has to give up better looks for Torres, allowing a lot of collapse on the back door from Stony Brook. Stony Brook can pass. They spread the ball extremely well. That's why they're able to find the inside areas to find a way to crash. And they've gotten some pretty easy looks on Joe Torres in that first quarter. Torres trying to command her defense, try to give up better shots farther out to give herself a little bit better of a chance. Tigers did well scoring early. Had some really good looks, just haven't been able to get offensive traction late in that first quarter. Sonia LaMonica probably telling her squad, just listen, you're down 8-3. Nothing's going to change. Slow down the pace. You were very efficient slowing down the pace early in that first quarter. The turnovers really killed you. Once you limit those turnovers, you're going to be able to find some traction again. Stony Brook, I expect them to keep the pace. Stony Brook headlined by Joe Spallina. Winningest coach in program history for Stony Brook. Verhulst versus Goodrich to start the second. Tigers have the control as they clear it, as they set up their offense. Levy. Pierre. Give and go between Goodrich and Garrett, or Pierre and Garrett. Goal line extended as they go behind. Pierre has some room, fires it wide. Marshall was calling for it inside. They try to give it to her. That's going to be another turnover on the Tigers. Stony Brook going right down Broadway. Passes it back to Macera. Inside, back up top. Mitchell down low. Saved by Joe Torres. Zizakovic trying to clear. Sends it forward to Garrett. Tigers have numbers. She's going north. And she scores. Save on the other end for Joe Torres. Zizakovic clears. And the Tigers get right back in it now, trail 8-4, 13:39 remaining. Gabby Garrett gets on the scoreboard here for the Tigers in the second. Unassisted goal as she went north to south. Tigers trail 8-4 here. Just over 13 remaining. Wind kicking up here at Tiger Field. Blair Goodrich for the Tigers taking the draw. That's going to be a push on the Tigers. Clear attempt successful. McQuarrie. Up top to Hample. Down low behind Torres. Hart sets it back up top to Verhulst. Massera to Verhulst. Mitchell. McQuarrie. She's driving. And looks like we're going to have a free position here for Stony Brook. Stony Brook, 28 free position goals on the year. As we're ready, shot attempt. Goes wide, it looks like. Looks like we're going to have another free position, actually. Livy Melanthe given the yellow card off with a free position. That first shot by Caitlin Hart was wide. As she's getting ready to go again. Hart back out. Had a shooting lane, decided not to use it. McQuarrie sends it down low. Up top. Inside. Ground ball right now. Nobody able to control it. Towson possession. Looks like we have someone down for Stony Brook. Hopefully she's okay. As she's up. Don't know exactly who that was. Sullivan. Great pass there. Tigers look to clear this one. Should be a pretty easy clear. Foul on Stony Brook. Pierre. Levy. Zizikovic. We have a halt in play. Stony Brook tried to go quick. Referees did not let him. Turnover from Towson. McQuarrie. Down to Hart. Great ball movement. They could try to go inside, and that's going to be taken away from Blair Paris. That's going to be a turnover on Stony Brook. First turnover on the day for Stony Brook. And Trary brings it through. Gets it forward to Gabby Garrett. She's going to hold on to this one. Tigers just holding out this penalty as Melanthe is going to be cleared. Tigers now have 7. Levy to Clark. Behind to Marshall. Thought about it to Garrett. Brings it back up to Thompson. Inside to Levy. Chorus just couldn't shake the double team. Sends it back out to Clark. Zizikovic with it. Playing hot potato with Marshall. And we're going to have a free position here for the Tigers. Just under 10 remaining here in the second. Tigers trail by 4. Have an opportunity here. I believe it's with Lindsay Clark. She goes. She shoots. She scores. Lindsay Clark now brings the Seawolves lead down to 3. 9:56 remaining here. Seawolves 8, Tigers 5. That's goal number 19 for Lindsay Clark on the year. That foul from Ellie Macera proved big for the Tigers. That was going to be Clark's first goal of the afternoon. Verhulst versus Goodrich for the draw. Clouds coming out. A little darker here at Towson now. Verhulst gets the clear and the control. As she sets it up, gives it to Mitchell. Over to Hart. McQuarrie. Alexandra Fusco up top. McQuarrie. They find her inside. Great save there from Torres. As she's now finding a groove in the net. A few saves in a row there for Torres. See if the Tigers can capitalize it on the other end. They got to clear it first. I believe it's Sullivan. Gives it up top. Intreri and Sullivan clear that for the Tigers. Tigers trail by 3. Getting a few saves in succession from Torres. Now have an opportunity to minimize that lead from the Seawolves. Thompson over to Clark. They have Chorus inside. They go behind the net to Goodrich and Garrett as they turn that one over. Seawolves look to clear. Thought about going quick, settles it down. She comes out. McQuarrie comes in. Verhulst, top of the key. Goal line extended. Back to McQuarrie. Macera getting double shaded right now. Almost found some room there. Well, we're going to have a foul in Towson here. Free position for Stony Brook. Believe that is Caitlin Hart looking to go against Torres. Goes low, and another save from Torres. She comes up big again. Seawolves 0 for 2 on free positions here this afternoon. Thanks to Torres. Malamphy gets it forward. Zizakovic. She goes behind. Zizakovic. Back out to Garrett. She finds Pierre. Back up top to Thompson. Over to Clark. Marshall behind the net. Tigers going to give away another one. Seawolves slowing down the pace a little bit. See if they try to up the tempo here with possession. Seawolves 16 shots. Towson 7. No room for Hart. Becerra sets the screen. Try to find a little bit of room on the inside as they stay outer. They go goal line extended. They've tried to run that play all day. The give and go and the run on the trailing player just gets right past her into the arms of Torres. Valerie Thompson able to bring that one in as I believe Emily King is now in the game. Pierre and Thompson up top. King inside with Marshall. They have Garrett down low. They go to her goal line extended. Behind is Zizakovic. Inside to King. That's going to be a turnover from Towson. Claire Levy brings it through. They're going quick. Shot goes high. Possession stays with Stony Brook. I think that shot attempt was by Isabella Germani. Inside, Torres. She lets that one through. Great placement there from Stony Brook as they finally get back on the board. Their first goal of the second quarter, 9-5, Seawolves. Kira Acatella credited with the goal. .21 shots for Stony Brook, 14 of those on goal. Great crowd here for this wonderful matchup between these two teams. Right across the road here, we're going to have the spring game for the Towson Tigers starting at 2. A lot of action going on here on the campus of Towson University this afternoon. Looks like Goodrich set to go. Ball in the air. On the ground. Looks like it's going to be controlled by Stony Brook. Becerra up with it. As she clears it up. McQuarrie. Hart. Just about 3.5 remaining here in the first half between these two teams. As she spins, brings it back up top. McQuarrie thought about it, gives it back out to Hart. Tried to find Becerra on the inside. Sideways shot there from Hart off the mask of Torres. She seems to be okay. She's good to go. Foul on Stony Brook, Tiger possession. Sullivan going to bring it up. She has a wide open lane. And she's going to go in hard. She's going to earn herself a free position for the Tigers, who trail 9-4 with 2:52 remaining. Waiting to see who's going to take the free position for the Tigers. I would assume taking it would be Lindsay Clark. We'll just wait and see, as she's actually going to not take it. Sullivan in. Looks like Sullivan's going to stay in and take this free position for the Tigers. They could really use one here. 9-5, Stony Brook. She passes it in. Ball on the ground. Levy was up with it. Takes a stick up high. Tigers going to be awarded another free position. Osha Levy. Left side. Dugnowski ready. Levy. Dugnowski. She's going to shoot. That's going to be saved by Dugnowski. Looks like we're going to have a push in the back from Stony Brook, and we're going to have a third chance here for the Tigers, as they're going to go straight away. Don't expect her to pass this one off. Looks like she's going to crash right towards the net and shoot this one on goal. As we're going to see here, Dugnowski ready. She goes, shoots low, and she scores. Osha Levy. Tigers get right back on the board. 2:39 remaining. Tigers 6, Stony Brook 9. Tigers doing a good job keeping this game close, especially when you're heading into half. You want to try to keep this within a 3-goal game. Stony Brook is a team that we saw in the first half, especially in the first quarter, that can go on a run at any time. Tigers can get all the momentum needed going into the second half, as we expect this to not die down in the second half. This is going to be a shootout the entire way. That goal by Osha Levy, her 5th of the season. Goodrich ready to take the draw. We're going to have a halt and play real quick. Looks like we're ready to go. Looks like it's Goodrich versus Macera. Hard to see who's she's battling with. I believe it would be Macera. Tigers looking to keep that momentum going with a draw control win here. Ball goes up. Controlled by Stony Brook. That's controlled by Levy. They find Macera inside. Ball gets knocked loose. Foul on Towson. Free position. Macera looks to go against Torres here on the free position. Torres has stopped both free positions so far for Stony Brook. Stony Brook looking for their first free position of the afternoon. Macera ready. She goes in, pulls out, goes low, saved by Torres. Torres saving all 3 Stony Brook attempt free positions so far in the first half. See if the offense of the Tigers can reward Torres for that stop. Marshall with the ball. Gives it over to Levy. Back to Marshall. Goodrich. Zizikovich. Back to Clark. Marshall. Down below. Clark. Levy. Pierre are up top. Clark. Down low. That's going to be a turnover on the pass from Zizikovich to Goodrich. Or Garrett. Excuse me. Ball gets past Garrett. And it looks like Stony Brook is going to clear. As Hampel brings it in. 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Halftime, we'll have first half stats and recap. And we'll look around on the other games of the CAA. And then we'll look towards the second half. Here with 45 remaining in the first half. Shot clock off. Stony Brook can take the last shot if they wanted to. Finds some room on the inside. Blair Goodrich takes it away. 18 seconds remaining. Tigers try to clear with Abbott. And it looks like they're honestly just going to hold on to this one unless they can get something going real quick. They find Garrett. Garrett's in. Saved by Duchnowski. And with that save, time is going to expire here in the first half between number 9, Stony Brook, and the Towson Tigers. Tigers holding Stony Brook to 1 goal here in the second quarter. We're going to go to a quick break here on Flow Sports. When we come back, we'll have a first half recap. Welcome back here to Towson University here on Flow Sports. What a first half from these two teams. Seawolves head into halftime, leading the Towson Tigers 9-6. As we look at the stats from Stony Brook scoring, Mitchell leads the way with 5. Becerra had those 2 early goals, has been a little quiet since, trying to dictate the passing for Stony Brook. They've really funneled it through Mitchell here this game as she has 5. Germani 1, Acatello 1. The assist, Jolie Creo really doing her job passing the ball here for Stony Brook, has 7 assists so far in the first half for the Tigers. Lindsay Marshall had those 2 early goals, has been quiet since. Garrett 1, Levy 1, Chorus 1, and Clark 1. The assists, a lot of these goals for the Tigers have been unassisted. Only 3 assists on the day, 1 from Garrett, 1 from Levy, and 1 from Marshall. But a headliner here in that second quarter was the goaltending from Joe Torres. Joe Torres, 7 saves so far. Had a lot of them, has 3 of them on those free positions. Had a great one to end that second half, or the second quarter, from Becerra. Towson leads the Clears 12-10. Has fallen behind in draw controls 9-7. It seemed like Becerra started taking draws late in that second quarter, started winning those against the Tigers. As we have some club teams here at halftime playing some lacrosse. Great community outreach from the Tigers and the university as they bring in some club teams that get to play during halftime here on Tiger Field. As we have 6:30 remaining here in the halftime break, we're going to take another quick break. We'll come back, look at other stats and scores from around the CAA when we get back here on Flow Sports. Welcome back to Flow Sports. Matthew Munneman here on the call for you, taking you through today's game. We're at halftime here, about 3:30 remaining in the break between halves. Stony Brook leading the Tigers 9-6. We look around the CAA today. William & Mary taking on Monmouth. That game is currently about to actually finish. Monmouth looks like they are going to beat William & Mary. Monmouth leading William & Mary 14-9 with 27 seconds left in the fourth. In other news, Drexel taking on Hofstra. That's a big game in the CAA. Drexel currently leading in the half 10-4 over Hofstra, as they are looking to set to take on that second half here in closing minutes, just like we're about to take off here in Towson. We're looking in ahead of the second half. Towson, it's a 3-goal game. Sonia LaMonica probably talking to her squad, listen, what we're doing is working. You got to limit the turnovers. Joe Torres is doing a great job in net right now for the Tigers, giving the opportunities for the offense to make something happen in that offensive half inside the 30. Hopefully that's going to remain for the transfer goaltender for the Tigers as we'll look into the second half. As for Stony Brook, I don't really think anything's going to change. They've kept up momentum. They've wanted to go faster than they've been allowed to. It seems like the referees have stopped a lot of their transition opportunities, just trying to get out way too quickly. See if that changes here. See if Duchnowski is going to be in the goal for Stony Brook when we get back. We're going to step away real quick. On the other side of this break is the second half here in Towson. And just like that, we are ready to go underway here in the second half. Goodrich versus Verhulst. Who's going to win the first draw control of the second half? And it looks like it's going to be the Tigers right now. Ball still on the ground. Controlled by Macera. Stony Brook gets the draw control as they try to clear. And looks like they're going to do so. Tigers in white, Stony Brook in red. If I'm Stony Brook, if I'm trying to extend this lead, I got to find a way to get Mitchell and Macera going early in this second half. But they try to get Mitchell going. Mitchell gets saved by Torres. And just like we talked about at halftime, Tigers going to have to try to use that momentum forward. And Trary tried to get one on, but that was saved by Duchnowski. But those saves by Torres is going to lead to an opportunity for the Tigers in the offensive half. And Lindsay Marshall has an opportunity here. She goes one-on-one. She finds room, and she goes up and over. 9-7 Tigers here off the goal from Lindsay Marshall on the turnover from Stony Brook. That turnover from Ella Whitehouse caused by Lindsay Marshall. Lindsay Marshall picks it up. Dekes out Duchnowski. Fake slow, goes high and bounces it in. Tigers trail 13:50 remaining, 9-7. Jaden Hampel going against Blair Goodrich here for the draw. Tigers got to find a way to win some of these draw controls. As they do right there, Zizikovich clears it and controls it. Garrett with it right now, hands it off to Pierre. Up top to Levy. Over to Zizikovich. Down to Clark as they go back up top. Zizikovich. Goal line extended to Clark. Behind the net to Garrett. Back to her. Has Course on the inside in Marshall. Pierre. Up top to Osha Levy. Back to this right side. Down to goal line extended for Clark. Marshall wide open in the middle. Tried to feed it to her. That defense closed in quickly on her. Able to keep her in and gets tripped. And they're going to send her off. Tigers are going to be a man up here. And that's going to be a yellow card on number 27, Lindsay Rungo. Tigers on the year have 7 women up goals. Have an opportunity here to make it. Another Lindsay Marshall with it now. Expect the Tigers to really slow it down here, get a shot they really like here with 12:45 remaining. Clark to Garrett. Up top to Pierre. Back down to goal line extended to Garrett. Osha calling for it up top. They send it to her. Osha Levy. Zizikovic. They have space on the inside. Chorus calling for it. Into Marshall. Behind the back. Off the post. What a nifty shot attempt there from Lindsay Clark. Clark and Chorus open in the middle at that time. Clark to Garrett. Tried to feed its way through. Tigers maintain possession. Zizikovic had an opportunity there to rip one. They continue to space it out. Under 30 on the shot clock. To Clark, inside, double team. She goes down, and that's going to be a push on Lindsay Clark, and that's going to be a turnover. 47 seconds remaining on the penalty kill for Stony Brook. Stony Brook ranks first in the CAA in penalty kill percentage, and there looks like they're going to do another one here. Don't expect them to slow it down. They have a chance to stay up tempo here, even with a woman down. 20 seconds remaining on the penalty kill for Stony Brook. Hampel with it now. They're just going to hold on to this one. 5 seconds remaining. Penalty looks to close out here. And they're good to go, and they're going to attack right away. Inside, spin. Tigers looking to get control of it, and they do. Goodrich had the control, knocked out of her stick. That's going to go out of bounds on Goodrich. Great stick check from the back. Shot clock reset. Joe Torres has been stellar in the past 10-15 minutes of action for the Tigers in the back half. Has only given up 1 goal in Prairie Falls. Tigers get the turnover, and they look to go out in front here. Tigers trail by 2, coast to coast, as it looks like they're actually going to slow it down behind the net with Garrett. Shannon Sullivan thought about going coast to coast. Pierre, Thompson, and Clark up top. Korish and Marshall in the middle. Zizikovic to Clark. Down to Garrett. She spins. She finds Marshall. Inside, she scores. Lindsay Marshall. Seawolves lead 9-8. Tigers on a run themselves. Goal by Lindsay Marshall, assisted by Gabby Garrett, and just like that, once down 8-3, now trail 9-8. Just under 9 minutes remaining here in the third. If you told Sonia LaMonica and her squad that they were going to be down 9-8 in a very competitive game in the third, they would take it. Tigers not backing down from a fight here against the number 9 team in the country. Goal number 39 on the year for Lindsay Marshall. Goodrich going up against Verhulst. And she's going to lose that one to Verhulst. Thought for a quick second that Goodrich got it. Stony Brook looking to answer. She goes in. And it looks like we might have a yellow here. And we do. Peyton Abbott looks is going off. Can Joe Torres come up big once again for the Tigers here off of a free position? Peyton Abbott goes off. She goes off for 2 minutes. Don't know who's taking the free position for Stony Brook. Hart passed it back, and they're just going to hold off for an actual possession here. Verhulst. Hart. Inside to Verhulst. And Torres comes up big again, and the Towson bench goes crazy. Torres is seeing everything in front of her right now. Marshall clears for the Tigers. And the Tigers have an opportunity here off of the save from Torres to tie this game up at 9. Under 8 remaining here in the third. We might have an offsides call. And we do. Turnover from the Tigers off the offsides. Towson faithful here not happy on that call. Torres 9 saves so far in the afternoon. None bigger than that last one. Verhulst came in clear as day, wide open. Wide open. And they bury that one. Torres not able to get her stick up high enough, quickly enough, and lead goes back out to 2 for the Seawolves. Jaden Hampel assisted. Creo assisted Hampel on that one. Goal number 26 for Hampel on the year. Verhulst and Goodrich set to take the draw. Tigers 8 goals off of 15 shots. 10 goals off of 26 shots for Stony Brook. Do we have a delay of game penalty on Towson? Someone's being sent off. And from here, it looks like Olivia Malamphy. Sonia LaMonica not happy right now. And it looks like it is going to be a delay of game penalty on Towson. She sits for a minute. Stony Brook, one of the best CAA women up offensive teams. See if they can capitalize here and extend their lead to 3. Mitchell sends it goal line extended to Hampel. They got to watch the back door. Macera wide open in front. Saved by Torres. Tigers defense doing a great job shutting down Macera since that first quarter. Joe Torres frustrated with that one because her team would have been off and running. Looks like we're going to have a free position for Stony Brook. Ellie Macera passes it back out. Mitchell up top. Verholst settles it down. And we're going to have another free position. Torres ready. McQuarrie ready to take on Torres. Fires. Saved by Joe Torres. Make that 0 for 4 on free positions from Stony Brook, all saved by Torres. Nobody's seeing the ball better right now than Joe Torres. And that ball's going to be turned over by Towson. Clear attempt good. Verholst. Hampel. Back to Mitchell. Off the post. Don't know who that's going to go out on. That's going to go out on Towson. Stony Brook ball. That shot from Macera rings right off the left post. Creo doing a great job distributing those balls to the playmakers. Mitchell, Verholst, and Macera goes inside. She goes behind the back and goes low on Torres, and she finds a way in. 11-8. That's a highlight reel goal for Stony Brook. Kaylin Hart. Talked about her earlier in the broadcast as a player to watch out for as she goes behind the back and low on Torres. Stony Brook with 4:21 remaining here in the third. Extend that lead back out to 3. Tigers look to answer. Towson awarded possession. That last goal by Hart was assisted by Jaden Hampel. Goal number 34 on the season for Hart. As we are underway again. We have another stop in play. We're going to have a Ali Massara is going to sit for Stony Brook. Towson is up a woman for 1 minute. Zizikovic up top to Levy. Goal line extended to Clark. Back to Zizikovic. Has King inside. Back up top. Inside to Marshall. Over to King. She's going to be pushed down. We might have a yellow on Stony Brook here. Emily King was on the inside, got pushed over. And it looks like she is indeed going to go off. Lindsay Rongo gets the yellow card for Stony Brook. Tigers could just shoot this with Emily King. Have an opportunity with 2 extras on the board as she's ready to go. Emily King passes it back out. And just like we thought, they were going to settle it down, use the advantage, and we have another halt in play. As you can probably hear, the wind is blowing here at Tiger Field. Referee's talking about something here. Tigers are 2 up for 24 seconds and then 1 up for about 1:30 after that first one expires. Tigers are not going to be fazed by this. They're not going to rush it. They're going to keep this, and they're going to get a good look here. Zizikovic with the ball now on the right side. Levy to her left, Clark to her right. Pierre and Garrett. That goes to Garrett. Back to Clark. Out to Pierre. Up top, Zizikovic. Goal line extended. Back to Zizikovic. Trying to find any room as Pierre sends it back out to Levy. Garrett. Zizikovic. Clark. They had King open for a split second on the inside. And we're going to have a free position for the Tigers here. Penalty inside the arc. Pierre drives, goes down hard. No call. Stony Brook possession. 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Tigers trail 8-11. Lindsay Clark going to be called for that foul. And she's now going to be sent off. Tigers lose that extra advantage now. Stony Brook will eventually have a woman up advantage for just over a minute once theirs expires. Stony Brook 30 shots on the afternoon. They rank second in shots in the CAA per game behind Towson. Towson only has 17 shots today. If I'm Stony Brook here, I'm just waiting this out, letting your penalty expire, and then go lady up, and you're good to go. There'll be a woman up in 5 seconds here. They'll have about just over a minute in that extra advantage, as Lindsey Clark is still taking a seat. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout. With 1:42 here remaining in the third, Seawolves 11, Tigers 8. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be ready for more action here on Flow Sports. Welcome back here on Flow Sports, Towson University of Towson, Maryland. Tigers trailing the Seawolves 11-8. As you see on screen, that's one of our camera ops, Brian Contreras, a colleague of mine in the video department here for Towson Athletics. There's a lot for Towson University here. We just want to wish him a happy birthday here. We got a long day in store. We'll be at the spring game after this, so I wanted to give him a little bit of recognition here for all he does for Towson Athletics. So happy birthday, Brian. And we are just about ready to get started again here. Seawolves leading the Tigers 11-8. These two teams are the highest shooting teams in the CAA. Seawolves second behind Towson, although they're leading Towson by a hefty margin, 30-17 in this game. And we still have a quarter to play. We are set to resume action. 58 seconds left on the penalty from Lindsey Clark. So Stony Brook will be an extra. There'll be a woman up here for 55 seconds. Up top to Verholst. Massera tried to find space on the middle. Wasn't given it. Query into the middle for Mitchell. Massera fighting for it. Torres takes it. Turnover from Stony Brook. Great idea there from Torres to let her player in Blair Goodrich take that one up. They got to get something going here, though. Shannon Sullivan with it now. She's double teamed right now, having a hard time trying to clear this one. She's going to have to send this one forward here in a second. She's being trailed. Clear attempt good. She's keep going. She's going to keep going. She's going to settle it down now. Levy. Zizakovic. King now sets up in the middle with Marshall. Garrett to Paris. Back to Garrett. She's going to switch fields. Goes to Zizakovic. Back out to Osha Levy. Goal line extended to Clark. Has some room. Fires, scores. Lindsey Clark slips away from goal line extended, finds some room in the middle. She shoots, and she gets it past Dukchowski. She scores that with 1.2 remaining here. Tigers now trail 11-9. The wind is howling here in Towson. Once this gets set in, time is going to expire. Tigers head into the fourth quarter here, trailing number 9 Stony Brook by 2. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back here with the final quarter of action here on Flow Sports. Welcome back. We are set for the final quarter of action here in Towson. Seawolves of Stony Brook lead the Tigers 11-9. This is where Stony Brook likes to take advantage here in the fourth quarter with their speed and athleticism. They got a deep bench. They try to wear out the opponent, take advantage of it late stages of the game. See how much left the Tigers got in the tank. As you have a chance here against the number 9 team in the country to make something here, only down 2. Tigers have played tough all year against ranked opponents. Like we said earlier, lost a late thriller by 1 to Penn State, and then lost in overtime while leading most of the game against Johns Hopkins on Tuesday. 15 minutes remaining. 2-goal game. Skies gloomy here in Towson as we are bracing for some incoming rain. Don't expect it to fall anytime during this game. We hope. Goodrich with the draw control, and she gets the clear. Stays in. Gives it off to Marshall. Marshall has Garrett on her left as she sends it towards her way. Back to Marshall. Top to Pierre. Zizakovic. To Clark. Levy. Marshall wide open, calling for it right now. She was left open for a good 5 seconds or so. Zizakovic. Garrett. Pierre has a lane. Shimmies. Brings it back out. 42 on the shot clock. Shot attempt from Garrett was saved by Dugnowski. And that zero angle shot attempt. Joe Torres is going to need to be big here in the fourth quarter if the Tigers want to pull off an upset. Macera inside against Torres, and Torres says no. But are we going to have a foul here on Towson? Torres frustrated. She made a phenomenal save on Macera driving. Ellie Macera is going to have a free position opportunity here. Stony Brook 0 for 4 on the day in free positions. And once again, they have an opportunity here to extend the lead back out to 3. Of course, it's going to be Macera versus Torres. And she settles it back. Stony Brook has an advantage here. They're a woman up for 1:45. See if they use a screen for Macera. They do. Looks like we're going to have a call for in the crease, Towson ball. But they're going to talk about it. Wish we had a replay of that up here. But was she forced into the crease is probably what they're talking about right now. A lengthy discussion here. as we head back and look at an update at Drexel and Hofstra. Drexel now out 16-4 over Hofstra. As it looks like the call is going to be reversed, it looks like they're saying that she was forced into the crease in front of Torres. That's a tough break for Towson, as they were going to be able to clear and wait out the penalty. Now still a woman down, trailing by 2 with 12:44 remaining in the game. There are implications on this game. Winner of this game likely has a good chance of finishing in first in the CEA. CEA tournament going to be hosted here at Tiger Field in Towson. Both of these teams 5-0 in conference. Stony Brook will head back home to face Hofstra to finish the season. The Tigers will head over to New York, Delaware, face the Blue Hens. Drive and score. I believe that was Mitchell. It was actually Caitlin Hart. Mitchell assisted a Hart. And just like that, Caitlin Hart gets her team back out 12-9. Tigers not out of this yet. We all know Tigers can score in bunches and they can score in a hurry. It's all going to depend on if they can win these draw controls. That's where the success has been all day for the Tigers, is off these draw controls. Goodrich. Anthony X for the draw. She's going against Hampel. 12:16 remaining. Draw control, Stony Brook. She loses it. It's going to be kicked out on the Tigers. Originally called it was Tiger ball, but then she changed it. Stony Brook possession. Foul on Garrett. We're going to have a foul call here on Towson. And once again, we're going to have another discussion. We're probably discussing if this should be a yellow. No yellow. Jospelina not happy with that call. And it's actually going to be Towson possession. Tigers going to look to kill off the penalty here. And we are set to go. Sullivan goes far side. Puts a move on her. Clears it forward. We're going to reset. She put a stop and go on the Stony Brook defender. Marshall sends it out wide to Zizakovic. Tigers have to get a goal here. Chorus in. Pierre. Garrett back to Pierre. Chorus and Marshall inside. Behind the goal is Lindsay Clark. And she's going to go off that one. That's going to be a yellow card on Stony Brook. And just like that, the Tigers now have the advantage with 10:54 remaining. Tigers now go up. Blair Paris, Gabby Garrett, back up top. Thompson commanding up top. Clark to Garrett, to Blair Paris, back to Garrett. Thought about it inside to Marshall. Goes back up to Thompson. Zizikovich has Chorus on the inside. They have Chorus. They go behind to Garrett. Into Marshall. She shoots and she scores. Tigers now trail 10-12. We knew this was going to be a close game from the start. Lindsay Marshall's having herself a day. I believe that's Lindsay Marshall's 5th goal of the afternoon. Goal number 40 on the season. She finally hits that 40-goal mark. Assisted by Gabby Garrett. They had Marshall and Chorus wide open in the middle for the longest time. They finally feed it from behind the net from Garrett to Marshall, and Marshall buries it. 10:18 remaining here in the fourth. Tigers trail 10-12. Goodrich going against Hampel. Tigers could really use a draw control for Stony Brook, so could they. And they come out ahead. Stony Brook with possession as they clear. Macera going straight down the middle. And she goes back out wide and settles it down. Under 10. This is a matchup we could very well see in the CAA tournament. As that ball goes in, behind the back, goes out. Verholz tried to go behind the back on Torres. Off the post. Torres was beat, saved by the post. 9:22 remaining. These teams expected to finish in the CAA 1-2. The order yet to be determined, as that depends on the last 9 minutes of this matchup here in the fourth. Goodrich tries to get it in. Looks like that was a foul on Jolie Creo. Or Macera. Nonetheless, behind the net right now is Zizikovich. I expect Clark and Zizikovich to switch positions here soon. Emily King also in. Clark, Zizikovich, Garrett. Thompson, over to Paris. That looks like that's a potential turnover on the Tigers, and that's re-corralled by the Tigers. Shannon Sullivan comes up big with that one for the Tigers, gives it off to Thompson. And the Tigers are going to reset here. 14 on the shot clock. They got to go quick. Blair Paris, get to Garrett. Inside to Marshall. Off the post. We're going to have a foul here on the Tigers. Is that Lindsay Marshall going off? Yep, Lindsay Marshall is going to sit for the Tigers for 2 minutes. And that's a big difference here with under 8 remaining. You're going to lose 2 minutes trying to kill a penalty while down 2. Corey brings it in. Hart with it now. Back to Macera. She goes one-on-one. Decides to pull back out to Mitchell. Stony Brook goal line extended. Thought about Mitchell driving. Back up top to Macera. You got to feel like Macera is due for one right here. I didn't see anything there, and neither did the refs. That's going to be a turnover, and the Tigers are going to look to kill this penalty. And instead, they turn it over. Stony Brook has numbers. One-on-one. Torres. Macera wins. Ellie Macera off the turnover gets a huge goal. Tigers now fall behind by 3, 13-10 with 6:46 remaining. And just like we said, it just felt like Macera was due for one. They find her off the turnover, and they beat Torres stick high. Hampel versus Goodrich. This game's not put away yet. 6:46. 3-goal game. Draw control. Stony Brook. Macera. She weaves in and out. She passes it off. Stopped by Torres. That save might have just saved the game for the Tigers, as they now have an opportunity here. Killing off a penalty for 25 more seconds. Thompson brings it in. Clark, Zizikovic. Back to Clark. No Lindsay Marshall in the game right now, just finishing off that penalty. They have Chorus on the inside with Emily King. That shot goes wide. Stony Brook possession. 5:30 remaining. And time is running out on the Tigers. Each possession for Stony Brook can essentially kill a minute and a half. And the Tigers got to make up 3 goals. Claire Levy brings that in. Mitchell. Ancatella. McQuarrie. Back up top. Caitlin Hart. Looks like they're going to try to keep draining this clock. They're in no rush here with 4.5 remaining, up by 3. Massera drives, passes it off. Hart just goes wide. Possession remains, 22 left on the shot clock. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Inside, behind the back, she scores. Highlight reel goal there from Caitlin Hart. Seawolves now lead 14-10. As Caitlin Hart does it again behind the back. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout here by Towson. We're going to take a quick break, step aside, and we'll be right back with the last 4 minutes with the Seawolves leading the Tigers 14-10 here on Flow Sports. After that highlight reel goal from Caitlin Hart, the glimpse and hopes of the Tigers pulling out an upset victory here over Stony Brook is starting to fade. 4:07 remaining. They trail by 4. And they're going to have to win a draw here and then up this tempo. They've liked their long possessions. They're going to have to get it going early in that first 45 of that shot clock to really get things going. But it all starts with a draw control win here. Every time Stony Brook can get a draw control, that's going to knock off another at least 75, 80 seconds. And those are 75 to 80 seconds you're going to need, especially down 4. Jaden Hampel going against Goodrich for the Tigers. Tigers could really use a draw control here and a quick clear to get a possession going. We're set. Whistle blown. Tough collision, but draw controlled by Stony Brook, and they're going right down the middle. They don't need to shoot. They're just going to hold this possession, kill off another 70 seconds. If this result holds, Tigers going to fall to 5-1 in the CAA. Stony Brook going to get out to a 6-0 record in the CAA. As up next on the docket for Stony Brook, they're going to head back home to versus Hofstra next weekend to finish the year out as they look to try to go to 7-0 if the result stays here. They drive, 3 minutes remaining, 30 on the shot clock. They settle it back down. They go up against Torres, and Torres saves it. Tigers have to go quick here. Sullivan brings it up. Levy to Garrett. Turned over. But we're going to have a foul. 2:23. That's what's left on the shot clock. On the game clock. .223 on the game clock. Tigers trail by 4. Gabby Garrett. Duchnowski. She shoots. She scores. No windup. No save. Gabby Garrett. Tigers now get 11. They trail 14-11. 2:21. You can never count out the Tigers. A draw control from Stony Brook would essentially ice this game with them being up 3. We need some magic here from Goodrich for the Tigers. And they get some there. Draw controlled by Lana Zizikovic. And they have to go quick. Just above 2 minutes remaining. Emily King in the middle. Chorus wide open in the middle, was calling for it. Back out to Thompson. Garrett. Puri. Back to Puri. Up top to Thompson. Zizikovic to Clark. Back to Zizikovic. They have Chorus inside. Clark's going to drive. Tried to find Chorus. Haley Chorus just started collapsing. 44 on the shot clock. 1:30 on the game clock. Tigers down 3. 14-11. Inside. Chorus. Down low. Saved by Duknowski. And that's essentially going to ice the game as there's no more shot clock on the board. 1:15 remaining. Stony Brook, as long as they clear, they can just hold on to possession, and that's going to do it. Tigers going to fall to 5-1 in the CAA. They're going to fall to 10-5 overall. Stony Brook going to head out to an 11-3 overall record, and they're going to get out to a 6-0 record in the CAA. And with that game, I believe Stony Brook has also clinched the #1 seed in the CAA tournament that's going to be hosted here in Towson. The Tigers are going to most likely have that 2nd seed in the tournament, as this could very well be the championship game in the CAA as well. So don't count this matchup being out for a second time. With 18 seconds remaining, the Tigers are going to finish the year at Delaware on the 29th here to finish the month. Mitchell, Hart, and Macera. Those are the big 3 for Stony Brook, and they all showed up today. Zizikovic, Clark, Marshall showed up today for the Tigers. Joe Torres had a great finish to the game, but it's hard to go up against the #9 team in the country. No matter if you're at home or away, Tigers are going to fall here in Towson to Stony Brook Seawolves, 14-11. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back, and we'll have a quick recap here to finish up this broadcast. Right back when we get back from Flow Sports. Back here at Towson University, Tigers fall to Stony Brook, score of 14-11. Stony Brook was able to control the tempo, had the draw controls, they were able to spread the ball. Tigers really couldn't answer back once Stony Brook went on that early run, and that's what ultimately made them pay the price. But we'll be back here for the CAA tournament May 4th through the 6th. That's going to be hosted here at Towson University. Stony Brook will be heading into that as the 1 seed. Tigers most likely going to be the 2nd seed right behind Stony Brook. Potential rematch in the championship game. But for me, Matthew Muddiman on the call for you today. We're going to head out of here. We're going to finish up Towson Trails and finishes behind 14-11. We'll see you back here for the CAA tournament. That'll be on Lacrosse TV. For all of us, all my camera crew, Ariana downstairs directing, I want to thank you for tuning in.